everyone, and welcome back to another video. We are Wanderers and Whiskers. I'm Acacia.
And I'm Michael, and behind us is Yeti the van.
Which is the subject of today's video. We are going to be talking about our van conversion.
Yeah, so we initially bought this van completely empty. It's a 2016 Fiat Ducato, medium wheelbase, high roof, the L2H2.
We had no prior woodworking experience, but we decided to tackle the whole entire conversion by ourselves.
We did the conversion for a 2-month period, working from very early in the morning to late at night. It was our main project at the time, so we didn't really have any other work, but it was super fun to do.
Starting off with what you could call the veins of the van, we were wiring the electrical wires, and we had to figure out where we wanted to put all the plugs, which was quite a tricky step.
Yeah, so this is also something that we've never done before. We went to YouTube to figure out how to do it, how to wire a plug, where the earth goes, where all that goes, where to put a switch in and all that. So yeah, we figured it out from the get-go. So that was step one, was wiring. Then we jumped to the insulation of the van, and this was a very big step because we can definitely tell the difference with the insulation in. Some days when you step inside the van, it's like 10 degrees cooler than what's outside, so it made a huge difference.
Yeah, the car is basically insulated like a normal house, so it is not like a normal car sitting in the sun. It really made a huge difference to our travels.
Yeah. The scariest part of the van build by far was definitely cutting all the holes in the van. We started off with the smallest hole, 1 of 4, which was the electrical port. So we just took a round saw and just went straight through. We did it eventually. Yeah.
This was our brand new van, so it was very intimidating to cut holes through the metal. There was no going back.
Normal people just don't cut holes in vehicles.
The next thing that we really wanted to do was install 2 windows, so Michael went to that with a jigsaw blade.
We literally made a template, put it up against the co-keyed it out, jigsaw, and then we put our windows in. And now we've got 2 windows in our van, which it's made a huge difference.
Yeah, it creates a really nice cross breeze through the van when they open, and just installing those was a huge arm workout, so we appreciate them every day.
And then moving up from that was the roof vents. Jumping onto the roof, this was always a scary part. Cut a square hole into there, and then we got a roof vent which we can open and close from inside. It's one of my favorites. At night time, there's a lot of cross breeze, so
yeah, we would definitely recommend installing an air vent, and in our next van conversion, I think we would maybe even go up to 2. The most time-consuming project of the van was definitely doing the roofing, as this is the biggest surface area and the most eye-catching.
It was also very tricky to be working above your head all the time and trying to figure out how to hold like 4 different corners with just the 2 of us. So we had like poles sticking up against the roof. But yeah, and it also, there's like 4 different layers to the roof with the roof layout that we went for. We've got strips of Meranti with some ply behind it, and then the insulation and the wiring and the roof structure that goes into all of that. So yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that I'm quite short, so we had to keep all those layers in like a cake.
And then with our roof, we really liked the end project. It was pieces of Meranti wood that we had in my uncle's workshop.
They weren't being used at the time, so he offered them up to us, and we spent quite a few days sanding them down to see if we could actually use them for the roof, and we really love how they came out in the end.
Something we didn't enjoy with our van build, and was also the most challenging, was our floor to ceiling pantry. We tried to build this from scratch. Well, we didn't try, we actually did achieve it. From the get-go it was difficult.
We attempted to build the entire structure from wood by ourselves, which was way out of our woodworking abilities. The final pantry ended up being super heavy and pretty expensive because of all the wood that we used, and we figured out that we actually could have just bought a metal one from a kitchen supplies shop.
Yeah, that would have been way easier. Like, it still works right now after 3 years of living in the van, and we're very grateful for it. There's so much food storage, but wow, it was very challenging. I remember like 3 or 4 days going into it.
A lot of time.
And we nearly gave up, but yeah, now we got it.
Our favorite part was when the van started coming together, our vision was coming to life.
We started off by doing our countertop, which has got a resin tint and looks like an ocean. This was done with a friend of ours, and then we've started moving in the kitchen supplies like the sink and the stove. Putting in the final details like the mesh and the ropes and the curtains and then the linen. So yeah, that was just creating our tiny space our own.
Yeah, all the aesthetics and making it feel like our home. It was then time to move all of our things in, so we started packing our clothes, our kitchen supplies, and food.
One thing you might not notice from when we hit the road back then is that we didn't have any exterior accessories. This only came into play about 8-9 months onto the road.
It made such a big difference as we had a whole bunch more storage on the roof, and as you can see, we've got an awning which makes shade at our campsite, so it was just a whole bunch of accessories that we could add and benefit our lives.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff on the roof, like all of our shoes and 2 longboards, gas storage, water storage. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on there, so it's always a must-have. There's a lot of space up on the roof.
Yeah, just maximizing everything with tiny living.
That was our 2-month van build of Yeti the van.
We hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next week.